Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, one and all, welcome to the Security and Defence Plus Alliance Advancing AUKUS Conference. My name is Craig Stockings. I run the School of Humanities and Social Sciences here at University of New South Wales, Canberra, and I'm also honoured to be one of the three directors of our Tri-University Security and Defence Initiative. It's my pleasure to be hosting you today for what I know is going to be a valuable experience for all of us here. More information about the Plus Alliance and the Security and Defence Initiative, of what they actually are, our aims, our objectives and so forth, will be provided as the morning progresses. I'm well aware, however, that amongst such august company, the last thing you want to do is hear from me, but rather the outstanding speakers we've gathered to you today from Defence, from the diplomatic community, from industry, from academia and the wider security sector. I'd also like to acknowledge the hundreds of attendees who are not in the room with us today, but instead are following proceedings online. I promise you all, keep my own speaking time to the barest minimum. Before I go any further, I'd like to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people, the traditional custodians of the land upon which we meet, and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today or joining us online. With that, one and all, please allow me to introduce you to the Dean and Rector of the University of New South Wales, Canberra, Professor Emma Sparks.
Good morning, everyone. For those that don't know me, my name's Professor Emma Sparks. I'm Dean and Rector at UNSW, Canberra. I'd also like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet, the Ngunnawal people, and pay my respects to their elders past and present. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. It's fantastic to see so many people here from government, industry and the university sector, all undoubtedly with the same goal of providing a safer, more stable Indo-Pacific, underpinned by rules-based order and indeed a safer and conflict-free world. I want to thank our partners and participants that have joined us here today, and I particularly want to thank MITRE for their support in helping put this conference together. Attila will speak later about how important universities will be in meeting the challenges we'll all be facing in a very dynamic global environment. And a practical demonstration of this is a key university partnership. UNSW is part of the alliance called Security and Defence Plus. This Security and Defence Plus alliance combines the strengths of three leading research universities on three continents: Arizona State University, King's College London and UNSW. And if you're wondering where the PLUS acronym comes from, it's short for Phoenix, London and Sydney, the home cities of the three universities in the partnership. Security and Defence Plus is an academic research and educational collaboration aimed at advancing AUKUS. There is no other partnership like it in the world. It aims to guide and provide trusted knowledge and insights to the AUKUS partnership by utilising each university's unique capabilities in defence-related research and education. The Security and Plus Alliance will be an intellectual engine behind AUKUS, providing research, analysis, education and events that bring together academics, policymakers and practitioners. So what does this look like in practice, and what does the Alliance actually deliver? I'm pleased to say it will deliver a wide range of practical information that will bolster the AUKUS Alliance. In the first instance, it will provide expert commentary. This includes an essay series, which I think you've got on the tables, which will provide insight and analysis of the possibilities and challenges inherent in AUKUS from leading scholars and practitioners from all three nations. A briefing book provides a curated collection of AUKUS reference material from official statements and agreements to key news releases. This briefing book will become a go-to resource for academic researchers and practitioners. And of course, there will be a growing body of research which will see the 3+ Alliance universities bringing multinational, interdisciplinary expertise to solve the toughest challenges of the Indo-Pacific security environment. The Security and Defence Plus Alliance also plans to deliver education through professional development courses, which will equip a generation of practitioners with the technical fluency, regional understanding, and common strategic insight to secure a free and open Indo-Pacific. We will also bring together world-leading researchers to collaborate in areas such as quantum technology, cyber, hypersonics, artificial intelligence, undersea warfare, and nuclear propulsion. UNSW's capabilities in this field have been captured in our new AUKUS Defence Capability portfolio, with copies on the table as well today. Starting with events like this, we'll bring together scholars, practitioners and policymakers in a spirit of open dialogue and intellectual inquiry through a series of workshops and conferences. I'd like to finish up with some numbers that show why, here in Australia, UNSW is well placed to guide and provide trusted advice and skills to our decision makers in relation to AUKUS. This year, the Australian Bureau of Statistics published its census data on the gross value added by the defence industry. 1.6 billion is injected into our local economy here in Canberra alone through defence capability. My faculty, UNSW Canberra, has partnered with Defence for 55 years, and we continue to foster this partnership, which delivers university education to future officers of the Defence Forces, as well as cutting-edge research in areas of key capabilities for the ADF. And through our new initiative called UNSW Launch here in Canberra, we host 250 defence industry staff through a dozen different SMEs. These companies hire and take on student internships. They commercialise and translate our research, fund postdoctorate scholars, and undertake joint research. UNSW is proud to foster these partnerships and growing our region's defence and education capabilities. We have accomplished so much, and we plan to accomplish even more, because UNSW is both willing and able to play an active role in strengthening the AUKUS partnership. Enjoy today, and thank you.
Friends and colleagues, I'd now like to take the chance to introduce to you Mr. Ryan Shaw, Managing Director of Strategic Initiatives at Arizona State University, for some brief comments or some brief further comments on the nature and purpose of not just the Plus Alliance, but the Strategy of Security and Defence Initiative we're here today to talk about. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks very much, Craig. Good morning, friends. I am Ryan Shaw, and whether you're here in person today or tuning in online, it's my great honor to welcome you on behalf of the Plus Alliance and Security and Defence Plus to our Advancing AUKUS conference. Now, if there are any terms in that sentence with which you're not familiar, don't worry. I'm here to help. We're going to spend the rest of today talking about AUKUS and how it might be advanced. And I'll take just a quick moment here first to provide a kind of public service announcement explaining the Plus Alliance and Security and Defence Plus, obviously augmenting what Professor Sparks just had to say, and that'll be followed up by others, and by the time you leave, you'll be well indoctrinated. The Plus Alliance is an academic collaboration between our three universities. As Professor Sparks said, if you haven't cracked the code, Plus has a capital P for Phoenix, Arizona. That's where I live. A big L for London, a small U just to be clever and make it work, and then a big S for Sydney. You're likely most familiar with the University of New South Wales, where we are and where we're gathered. We've just heard from Professor Sparks about their unique positioning here in Australia, both in Sydney and in Canberra. UNSW is ranked in the top 50 research universities worldwide and #1 in Australia for social impact. UNSW is also home to ADFA, the Australia Defence Forces Academy, and the world premier Defence Research Institute. Founded in 1829, King's College London is the 4th oldest university in England, but it's a thoroughly modern research university, now ranked 6th in the world for research power. King's is home to, it's fair to say, the most storied security studies school in the world. That's my terms, not John's. Trust I'll take it. The largest interdisciplinary group of scholars outside the U.S. dedicated to the study of conflict and war, defense and security, who also provide the academic faculty for the Defense Academy in Shrivenham, and they're tightly connected to the British Defense and Foreign Ministries in many other ways. And I represent Arizona State University. We've recently been named for the 8th consecutive year the most innovative university in the United States. We're working to redefine what a public research university can be and do in the 21st century, simply because it seems obvious to us that older models are no longer sufficient. We've risen to #1 in the US and #2 in the world for global impact, and that's all guided by our charter, which says that we'll advance research and discovery of public value, and that we want to be measured not by whom we exclude, but by whom we include and how they succeed. So we're each very proud of who we are as individual universities and we're proud of our achievements in the communities and the nations in which we find ourselves. But we are simultaneously very humble before the problems that beset us globally. Climate change, pandemic disease, poverty and inequality, building cities and systems that can sustain our growing, diverse, and interconnected populations. These are truly global problems, and global problems demand global solutions. So 6 years ago, our leaders formalized this alliance on the idea that we can do more together. And we have. We've established TEDI, the Engineering and Design Institute in London. We've advanced cutting-edge research in smart cities, water management, and global biosecurity, among many other areas. And on the idea that education is the key to unlocking human potential, we've allowed students from across our 3 universities to study together through summer schools, field trips, and other exchanges. But we have not yet organized for impact on what is perhaps the most acute global challenge of our era, strategic competition for the future of world order, and the risk that that competition could lead to a great power war. I don't need to explain to this audience that the international security environment is more dangerous today than it has been in many decades. And so today, we are launching a new initiative within the PLUS Alliance, Security and Defense Plus. So, what can we do about this dangerous environment? Well, in a sense, that's what we're here to find out. We've convened this forum in part to help identify the challenges and figure out where and how we can work together for greatest impact. Today we're focused on AUKUS. Now, as I'm sure will come out in our discussions, there might be some lingering uncertainty as to what AUKUS is meant to be or what ultimately it will be, but I'd like to emphasize here at the outset that whether you take the minimalist view of AUKUS as a carefully circumscribed military technical collaboration, or whether you prefer the more expansive vision of AUKUS as a broadly scoped integration of our security, diplomatic, and economic concerns, I've yet to hear a serious thinker from any of our 3 nations who's looked at the future of the Indo-Pacific and thought, yeah, we should definitely do this on our own. We don't want any help from allies or partners. One way or another, friends, we are in this together, as we should be. Within or without the banner of AUKUS, the future of world order in this region and beyond will be shaped in large measure by our ability to work together. And so we've committed to working together, as we say, in the spirit of AUKUS. One thing we can do as universities is basic applied and translational research on the military technologies with which AUKUS is concerned. We have great strengths across our 3 universities in all these areas. We've been cataloging and comparing them, and we're working to position ourselves to partner with our governments for maximum impact. Understanding that technologies don't live in a vacuum, that they are not ends in themselves, but they are means to be employed by humans in the pursuit of very human ends, we're also eager to contribute relevant research from the humanities and the social sciences. We're working to integrate our degree programs in relevant fields, to offer our students unique pathways to get the best of what we can offer across our 3 universities, whether online or in person. And we're also exploring possibilities for continuing professional development. Navigating this complex and dynamic security environment will require continual access to lifetime learning for our defense and diplomatic professionals, as well as partners from the private sector and civil society. Each of our universities has a proven record of innovating and delivering in this regard, and we're excited to see what more we can contribute. Now, I should note that our intent in all of this is not just to put a PLUS Alliance stamp on the things that we already are or already would be doing. Rather, we're looking very strategically at what we can offer together that would otherwise not be possible. PLUS is in our name, and we are committed to additive value propositions, and we believe there are many to be had. I'd also like to note that just as the AUKUS partnership does not mean that our nations are not open to working with others in the region, our academic alliance through PLUS does not in any way imply that we're trying to elbow others out or create some kind of exclusive club. Quite to the contrary, we want this to be a platform that enables collaboration by anyone who has a positive contribution to make. There's plenty of work to go around, and as we've said, we're all in this together. I'd like to extend a very heartfelt thanks to my counterparts in this venture, starting with Craig Stockings from here in Canberra, who's been assisted by Dean Baker and no doubt many others. John Gearson, head of security studies at King's, has come all the way from London, along with Professor Hugh Davis. And we've been assisted all the way by the Great Plus Alliance management team led by Joe Watkins, who's here with us today, and Vanita Chanan from UNSW, who's also made the trip from Sydney. My thanks to you both and to the broader teams that you represent. Also, of course, we're both inspired and enabled by the leadership of our respective principals, or presidents, or vice-chancellors, as the case may be. And I'll turn it over now for a brief video message from them before we get on with our first panel. Thank you again for being here. I look forward to a tremendous day of learning together in the spirit of AUKUS.
My sincere thanks, Ryan, and as foreshadowed, it's with the greatest of pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce the presidents and the vice-chancellors of our three universities involved in this endeavour: University of New South Wales, King's College London and Arizona State University.
6 years ago, we forged a special partnership, the Plus Alliance between King's College London, Arizona State University, and the University of New South Wales. We brought together London, Phoenix, and Sydney. This has broken new ground in engineering, public health, sustainability, advancing research for a truly global perspective.
Now, with the recent geopolitical developments, from the war in Ukraine to the rising tensions in the Indo-Pacific, we are compelled to find new ways to make a difference in statecraft and security.
With deep and enduring ties in our defence and foreign ministries, expertise in the relevant disciplines, and a proven track record at the nexus of policy, practice and scholarship, our three universities are proud to launch Security and Defence Plus. This is a long-term, robust integration of our three world-class defence and security studies programs.
Over the next few years, we'll come together, we'll integrate our coursework, we'll collaborate on joint programs, provide custom pathways for students around the globe. We'll open new possibilities in professional military and interagency education. We'll really get hard and focused on advancing vital research on the toughest challenges of our era.
Now, the obvious place to start is by advancing AUKUS, the Australia, United Kingdom and United States Agreement, to deepen diplomatic security and defence cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region.
Security and Defence Plus will partner with our three governments to support this vital partnership as the intellectual engine behind AUKUS. Because together we can help ensure a safe, secure, sustainable and a just global future.